Hi everyone. In this video we're going to check our session for lesson planning. So first we need to check what curriculum is because we need to identify from the big picture what the objectives or lesson planning are, and then we're going to check these specific characteristics. So the term curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school or in a specific course or program. It means that this is like the big thing that a school designs for the complete school year of different subjects. This is something that is designed by teachers, not only by one person or the head of department. It is a teamwork process that needs a lot of time and effort. So it's possible that you can be part of this team for designing the curriculum. This is based on learning standards established by the Ministry of Education, and it has learning objectives, like general learning objectives. So these are expected to be achieved by the students at the end of the school year. Then we have the characteristics. So in this part, it is include the units and lessons that teachers teach for the subjects, the assignments and projects that are going to be developed by students, what materials, books, videos, or any other kind of things are they're going to use during this process, and as well as the tests, assessments, and the schedules for these activities. So this requires a lot of thinking and development. Let's go for the syllabus. The syllabus is the guide of only one course. In here, we are not talking about the curriculum for science of the complete school. Here we're talking about 11th grade second period classes. So this is more specific. In here, there is like a detailed guide of what is going to be done in each session, or at least each week of the course. Generally include course policies, rules, regulation, required texts, and a schedule of assignments. A syllabus can tell nearly everything students need to know about how a course will be run and what will be expected from them. This is given to students so they can follow their process. You can give the students a hard copy on a paper of what they're going to do in one period. So you can start like, in this period, these are the topics that we're going to check, these are the presentations or projects or things that we're going to do, these are the dates, and these are the ways we're going to evaluate these things. So here we have a more narrow part of what we're going to talk about next. Here we go for the lesson plan. A lesson plan is a detailed guide for teachers to run a single class with specific goals, objectives to be achieved by the students. It includes information about objectives, materials, time, activities, special announcements, or other information that each teacher considers important. There are many kinds of ways to lesson plan. There are templates designed by the school or templates designed by other teachers that you can use to plan your lessons. Let's talk about the objectives. The objectives are the core of the lesson plan. If they are not clear stated, this can influence this can influence very negative the class. They are supposed to describe what their students are going to do in terms of language, communication, and strategies. Here I have some examples of objectives. I have communicative objective and language objective. However, these two can be mixed to have just one objective. Here we have talk about my daily routines, describe my clothes, discuss likes and dislikes about food, talk about your neighborhood and local events. You can mix, for example, talk about my daily routines to use the present simple, or to use verbs like I do, I don't do, I wake up, and so on, so on, so. So depending on your style, you can have two objectives or just one. If you notice here, the objectives are stated with action verbs: talk, discuss, use, practice, introduce. So it's really important to have this as the one, or like a one characteristic for the objective. Here we have the warm-ups. Warm-ups are activities that are presented at the beginning of the class, and its purpose is to prepare students for the next activities. As we mentioned in a previous video, can be puzzles, video, questionnaires. Remember, warm-ups are never longer than 10 minutes. It's just to activate the student's background, previous knowledge, and to get the attention from them. Materials. Here we have something that is really easy to plan, but if you don't do it in advance, you can have a hard time. When we plan, we need to think of materials like this: photocopies, extra papers, color pencils, a recorder, battery paper, markers, magazines, scissors, or any other kind of material. Just think of the situation that you need paper, but you forgot it, and it was crucial for the development of the task of your class. So just one little thing can influence your class positively or negatively. So just think of what you are gonna use and make sure that you have it and that they work. Always think of a plan B. What if? So what if you forget to bring extra markers? Let's say that you have 20 students or 30 students and you have only 5 markers. What if your tape recorder does not play the audio you planned? It's really important to make sure that if you're going to use technology, that technology works. And what if your students forget or do not have, or they don't have available any material like the pencils or pens? You can have a bank of these kind of resources. You can ask volunteers to donate pencils or to have a box full of these kind of things, so you can have a plan B in case your students do not have the materials that are required for the development of the lesson. Time is another important part of a lesson. You need to think of how you're going to manage time. This can be really hard at the beginning, but this is a matter of practice. You need to know in advance the amount of time you have for the class, if it is 15-minute class or if it is 100-minute class. So we talk about this like academic hours. You can have, let's say that you have 100-minute class. So you can divide the class like this: 10 to 15 minutes the warm-up, 15 minutes activity number 1 could be listening or practice, 20 minutes language, grammar and practice, 20 minutes activity, communication, conversation practice, 20-minute individual activity, writing or reading, 10-minute wrap-up, check achievement of objectives, and 5 minutes extra. This is just an example of how you can organize your class. I'm not saying that this is the way you have to do it all the time. You can start, of course, with the warm-up, but then you can have the language after that. or then the reading, and then you connect it to the listening. It's a matter of what you plan and what the students need, and it fits the syllabus of your class. Well, we have the wrap up. This is the last part of the lesson. In this part, you may think of how can you evaluate if the students really achieve the objectives. So you can ask a few questions about what they learned during the session, ask them about the difficulty 1 to 5, and ask them what they did during the whole session. Remember, not just use yes no questions, but try to use information questions like, did you use the present simple? Yes. How did you use the simple present? So you make sure that the students effectively used what you planned. Last recommendations. Always make sure students understand your instructions, no matter what level they are. If you only ask, is it clear? The answer is yes. Write instructions on the board or in a PowerPoint. You can model what you want students to do. You can ask a volunteer to repeat instructions. Please use simple words for instructions. This is really important. And, well, this is it. Thank you very much.